Hey guys, welcome to our Tuesday workout. We have front squats for a strength portion today. It's going to be starting with sets of 6, building up in weight to sets of 2, okay? Remember, we'll always include percentages. If you have a recent 1 rep max, you're going to use those percentages. If you're new or don't have that, just build up in weight based on comfort as you go, all right? So the front squat requires a bit of mobility. Our standard grip is going to be about thumb distance from the knurling mark. Okay, big thing here, before you load your body, come under the bar. Notice my fingers are open. I readjust my neck. I do that just to make it feel comfortable. I want it as close to the center of my body as I can. So when I stand up, the weight is squarely on my shoulders. Okay, so I'm making sure before I stand up that this position feels good. Okay, notice my fingers are open, my elbows are pushed up. Okay, the weight is just on my body. Okay, there are people that have some mobility issues here. This can be really hard if you don't have good mobility and you can't get your elbows up and you're trying to squat and the weight's like crushing your wrist. This is not very comfortable. And this position will impact a lot of other movements that you do in CrossFit, like thrusters, cleans, the Olympic lifts. So I highly recommend getting a routine and working on that if you don't have that position. If you can't do this at all without hurting your wrist, the most common is the Iron Maiden position, where it's not as stable, but it allows you to work on position. So you come under the bar, you feel it on your shoulders, and then you cross your hands over and stand up like this. Okay, so that's a way that you can scale, or you can always do back squats in the short term if you need. All right. So again, coming under the bar, getting set up, stand straight up, take a step back. Remember, it's going to be heavier weight. We're treating it like it's really heavy. Find your stance. Take a big deep breath and hold it. Good deep squat, stand back up, okay? If you need to at the top each time, exhale, take another deep breath. Okay, and we really want to work on range of motion, okay? Again, deep range of motion is better for long-term progress and transferring to other movements that we do. So that is our strength portion for today. Let's get into conditioning. All right, guys, we got a fun workout for you in the conditioning today. It's going to start off with every 2 minutes for 5 rounds. You're going to do some type of ring muscle up, bar muscle up, or pull up, combined with back squats out of a rack, which we don't do that often. So it's meant to be about 1-to-1 rest. Here's what that means. We want to work for about a minute and then get about a minute rest. And we're going to do that for 5 rounds. Okay? The ring muscle ups are prescribed as 6 for men, 4 for women. Okay? If you can do ring muscle ups, but that's a lot for you, just scale the number down. If you can do the ring muscles, we want you working on those under fatigue and in this. That might even be 1 or 2 reps per round. That's totally fine. Okay? I'll talk about some scaling options for the ring muscle ups in a second. The other movement you're coupling this with is 3 back squats. So it's only 3. This should be something you're comfortable with, but still heavy. So on that moderately heavy side, okay, the prescribed weight is 225, 155, and we have an RX Plus option. But again, if you're not sure, if you're newer, keep it on the moderate side. Okay, if you're more experienced, you can challenge yourself with the weight. But again, coming out of a rack, just take time to set up every time before you load yourself. Just like we talked about in the front squat, stand up, good step back. We want to prioritize a good deep squat every single time, all right? And then you're gonna get to rest after those back squats. Let's talk about some of the pull-up variations and muscle-up variations. All right, so for those of you that do not have ring muscle-ups yet, lots of variations. Anytime there's a complex movement, there's a lot of ways we can break it down. The most basic is gonna be doing double the number of repetitions of some type of pull-up, okay? So that can be chest-to-bar pull-ups, so you touch your chest to the bar. It can be regular pull-ups, or of course using a band. Okay? Remember, when you use a band just goes over 1 foot, okay? Keep it along the center of your body. And the same thing, if you use a band, you can work on chest to bar. You can even do banded bar muscle ups, right? But focus on, if you're learning, try to learn how to use a little bit of the swing and your lats instead of only just pulling straight up and down like that, okay? So there is a bit of skill work we want to work in here as well. If you're good at pull-ups, and the dip is really a hard part for you for the ring muscle up, maybe feel free to do 1-to-1. So it would be 6 chest to bar and 6 ring dips or something like that is also a great variation here. All right, the finisher here at the 10-minute mark, we're gonna do 50 box jump overs for time. Okay, classic height's 24-inch for guys, 20 for women, but scale this down. This is meant to be fast, all right? Nothing where you're concerned about when you're tired getting on top of the box. So if you're debating, go lower and work on speed and repetitions. There's a couple ways that you can do this, right? The fastest way is going laterally. You don't have to stand up on top of the box. Just both feet need to tap, get to the other side. So the fast way, right? If you notice, for me, I like to kind of control my landing. I have 1 foot land, and then the other follows. For me, that feels a little bit more controlled as I ease to the other side. Of course, you can also face forward. This takes a little bit longer, but is more kind of a traditional jumping stance. You can step and turn. So in things like this, with a lot of repetitions, I always tell people, think about rhythm. The way that you like to get over and back. Rep after rep should be pretty similar, and you get into that rhythm that you can sustain. All right, so again, 50 reps here. Practice a few reps in the warm-up and see what feels comfortable for you. Remember, you're going to be tired when you get here. You're going to have done all those squats prior to this, so that's our recommendation for today. Have fun. See you tomorrow.